Fire risk is extremely high this year. We're very dry. We haven't had wetting rains in some areas of the state in over 100 days. The only thing that's saving us right now is the fact that it's really cold, and that we've had the cold weather that kind of limits anybody from being outside doing anything. A wildfire is an unplanned event. It's a fire that is, we have the difference here in Oklahoma: prescribed fire, controlled burns, planned ignitions, if you will. And a wildfire is a fire that's out of control, something that we didn't anticipate. It's not something we wanted, and it's kind of escaped any control and is problematic. With Oklahoma's weather and how variable it is, we see the extremes. We see fires that are on the side of a road that may be stomped out by one person, or we can go to some of the larger wildfires we've had over the last few years that take multiple resources, multiple operational periods to control. So the first step to preparedness is don't wait until the event is ongoing or when they smell smoke in the air. Now's the time to start preparing for the possibility of a wildfire impacting your home. And we need to look at things like having your grass mown short, at least 30 feet. 50 feet is even better. The farther you can get that grass mown short around your home, the more likely it is to survive a wildfire event. Not only that, but it also gives the firefighters what we call defensible space, somewhere that they can work to protect your home if they come.
From a landowner standpoint, what we really need to focus on is taking actions well ahead of that event.
Drew Daly is a fire staff forester with the Forestry Service and works with local jurisdictions in the event of a wildfire. He says just doing regular upkeep on your property can make a huge difference.
Brush and low-hanging limbs are removed, that the firewood not stacked up next to a house. If you have decks or window wells, that leaves and other debris has not blown up in there, because very often it's not the direct contact with a flaming front that results in a structural loss or something of that nature. It's firebrands or embers that are lofted into the column that settle out into those areas, and then they'll initiate a home ignition, if you will.
Our fire occurrence in Oklahoma is primarily human caused. We do have the accidental fires from power lines going down and things like that, but we have a lot of activities that are outdoor activities that we get the accidental ignitions, and that's a large part of. It's not intentional. In a lot of cases, it's a lot of innocent ignitions that cause problems, and then we also have the high wind events that cause the power lines to arc, and we get ignitions from that as well. But right now, 2018 is not looking good, just because we are so dry, and we have an abundance of growth of fuel, which we have practically every year.
While upkeep on your property is essential, producers need to have a plan for their animals as well.
Well, I think in regards to animals, preparing for the disaster before it comes is the best thing that you can do. And there's a lot of resources that you can find through different organizations that will give you some ideas of what you need to be ready for, things that you need to have on hand. Having in your truck the ability to cut a fence in an emergency or those types of things was also important. And it's part of the preparation again.
There are also preparational steps landowners can take to help those who are helping save their properties.
One thing that gets overlooked very often is ingress and egress. In other words, how can a fire truck, which sometimes can be very large, can they make it into your driveway? And basically we're looking at something that's we want 12 foot wide by 13 or 14 feet high, so that we can make ingress and egress out of that out of your access to your home and to your other buildings. And then also in the agriculture community, make sure that you have very visible gates, and that way we can try to avoid cutting fences, whether we need to make access or we're trying to let cattle out so that they can be shuffled out of the way of a fast-moving fire.
Emergency crews will do their best to help out in the event of a wildfire, but the big extreme fires, sometimes help isn't always available. Fire ecologist John Weir says it's essential that you follow these preparational steps to protect yourself and your home.
That's the other thing that we have to think about, because a lot of times we think about, oh, the fire department will come protect my home. Well, you get in those big situations, a lot of times there's not enough people and resources to go around to protect every home and to do that. So your home needs to stand alone. It needs to be able to defend itself.
The only way that we can really be prepared is to run through scenarios in your head. Look at lessons learned. Look at other fires that have happened in the state. You know, what did the homeowners there go through, and what did it look like? We try to have our landowners and homeowners to think about what they will do in an emergency. When the emergency occurs, then it becomes second nature.